Yo, what is up, guys? This is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Mall. On point reviews all day, every day. We've got a special one today that I know, guys. As soon as you probably saw this, you were like, when the heck is Troy going to review this? When am I going to bring my no hype views into this fragrance that is definitely hyped because of a couple of things? The name, the composition that's been talked about, as well as the fact that it's still yet about to release. And gladly, I have to say, we have a dose of this. We do have a decan of this that we got from a generous donor that dropped it off in the middle of the night. Just dropped it off in front of my house. Like, you gotta review this. This is none other than Tom Ford's Bitter Peach. Okay, releasing, I believe, in October. This is coming out very, very soon. We're gonna talk about this fragrance today. Very, very interesting, especially since Tom Ford has released things like Lost Cherry, bitter, not Bitter Peach, but the Rose Prick. Really interesting, catchy names. I reviewed Rose Prick a while ago. Interesting bottles. In this case, it's an orange one, peach orange one. That's gonna be very, very interesting, guys. Okay, but again, we gotta find out, no hype, what this is about, because most of the hype is because it's not here yet. But obviously, guys, if this was around, it would be a different scenario, right? So let's talk about it today. Let's hit the music for everybody. Let's go. Okay, we're back, guys. Tom Ford Bitter Peach. Let's go spray it real quickly. Okay, so let me say this, guys, that peach is one of my favorite notes. Okay, especially when the peach is sparkling and quite pronounced. I love that kind of peach. You've seen me, well, I haven't really released it, but I made a review on Roja Kuwait, and like, that is starting to become literally one of my favorite Gulf collections when it comes to Roja. About to beat Bahrain, but then Bahrain to me was, I don't know, Bahrain to me really felt Gulfy. So I don't know, I think Bahrain is still number one, but the peach in Kuwait was like, oh, so nice, and I love peach fragrances, okay, especially the ones where the peach really stand out. Okay, now in this case with Bitter Peach, guys, this one opens with the peach, and the peach in the beginning is bright, is somewhat bright, somewhat sparkling type of peach, which will be reminiscent of like a woman's perfume. Okay, when you first smell this, you're gonna be like, oh, that's so femme, because this is something that you can expect with women's perfumes. This is what the girls love, because it's got this bright peachy opening. Like, I'm sure few guys will get into that stuff. Okay, but within, I would say, 2 minutes, seconds to minutes, okay, the second note, the second more prominent note comes in, and that's basically blood orange. Okay, that's not a blood coated orange, it's blood orange, which is, it's not a mandarin, it's not bright, it's not any of those, but it's more of like a it's like semi bitter. I can't even really explain it. It's like a semi bitter, it's a different type of sweetness, orange. And that blood orange, once it comes in, it totally curves it. It curves this bright peach that lasts, like I said, seconds. Okay, and when you have the blood orange with that peach together, basically it starts leaning unisex. Okay, it starts leaning unisex. Suddenly, this bright peach is gone, and then you have this blood orange, merging with it, curving it real quickly. And this is the smell that really will last for almost the entire period of this perfume. Okay, it's this blood orange and peach combo, at this point non-bright. Okay, This one here it's likable. I think it's pretty likable. I think that in the beginning the sillage is pretty nice. I mean, I walked outside and I know how to kind of sense the sillages of these things, and the sillage is pretty nice in the opening, in the beginning. It's got a nice smell. I was really imagining, like, man, what kind of scenario would I wear this as a man? I mean, as a woman, I think it's kind of anywhere, but as a man, I was thinking, like, man, where would I smell this? I mean, this is definitely, it could be like a feel good fragrance, but then, like I told you guys, the moment the blood orange comes in, I mean, it turns into something more formal, actually, and there is a third ingredient that, to me, it's kind of like a mystery note, because I mean, I haven't smelled this ever. It's called Davana Absolute. And but when I did my research, right, Davana Absolute is basically this like fruity. It's like a fruity essential oil that is in there, and it is like warm, cozy, sort of like amber-like. That is in the perfume, and it's used as an aphrodisiac, and it's also used in some cultures as like a healing scent, kind of like a relaxing healing scent. So I was like, okay, that's really cool, and that's what made me realize, oh my gosh, there is a third kind of like fruity note here that, because it really, as this thing progresses, yeah, it's peach, but it's not. I mean, if you know and love peach fragrances, as this develops, it starts to not become peach. You can say, there is an ambery, syrupy side of it that's starting to come in, and it's like, wait, that's not the blood orange either, and that's probably this Davana Absolute. I mean, I would love to smell what a Davana Absolute smells, but as it continues, the thing about this fragrance you'll notice is, if this was like a gradient, if you're looking at a gradient, it would go from like lighter to warmer to warmer to warmer to warmest. It starts curving that way. The Davana here really helps, because it is that ambery, sort of like that syrupy, warm, cozy, still fruity, adds a certain dimension to this. But yeah, I mean, just think of it as maybe ambery a little bit. Curves it, into that warm side from that gradient, from that initial super bright peach. Then it starts curving. Then you've got labdanum, which is, oh my gosh, if you add labdanum, you're already headed there. You know what I mean? You're headed to that curve, because you have that labdanum scent. And yeah, I mean, it does develop that way. Does the peach blood orange stay? Yeah, it does. Okay. And so, you still get that total sensation of the peach and the blood orange, but it starts curving to somewhere, something warm. And that's precisely why this bitter peach is probably slated to release October, because I mean, this would be an amazing fall scent. It's so hard to judge it if it's like, dude, 92 outside. I'm walking outside, it's so hot, I'm looking for the wind, I'm like, where's the wind? But man, if I was wearing a pea coat, in the middle of NYC, and I was wearing something like this, I mean, I can see that going, because there is some warm, there are some warm notes that come in here and kind of like curve this initially bright fruity for like just, oh gosh, seconds, curves it into that. And so I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that it's coming out in October, right when it's ready to hit the fall. You know what I'm saying? Because I think this would be great for fall. Now, for the base notes, you've got patchouli in this, some nice patchouli, and of course sandalwood. And that's mostly what I smell on the dry down. Lots of sandalwood, nice patchouli. And ultimately, like I said, this is a warming scent. It's a real warming scent. So it's totally different from what we would expect maybe a fruity fragrance or a peachy fragrance to be. We're expecting bright, we're expecting extravagant, like pop in. But this one is actually a warming peach scent. It's very warming, it's very cozy. This is something I would wear for the fall, like ASAP Rocky. And it does, because I'm not a super fan of Tom Ford, but I do smell, I've had a lot of their scents. I do think that this falls under this Tom Ford line, because Tom Ford is still very classy, manly, somewhat dark and formal or semi-formal. bitter peach is on that range. It's definitely semi-formal because once the peach binds with this davana and the blood orange and the other things, the labdanum and the patchouli, once it binds with it, you're really not gonna get that girly peach scent. You know what I mean? It's something that really, I mean, you can wear in a semi-formal event. You'll just get a little bit of that hit of peach, but then people will be like, "What is that?" Because it's mixed with those other things. It's binding with those other things. So it is, you could say, a warm peach, semi-formal, cozy scent. If I could just describe it. And it was really different when I sprayed it on my hand versus when I actually wore it, because when I actually wore it, like, I could really feel the changes over time when I was wearing it versus when I just spray it on a sprayer and you smell it. You're probably just immediately, first impressions, you're going to be like, this is hella femme. And to my friend that I talked to about this, I mean, that was the first thing I said when first impressions. I was like, I hit him up and I said, "Yo, bro, this is femme as hell." But actually, as I continue wearing this, it is definitely more unisex, maybe even manly at some point. The way that it progresses. Now, let's talk about this performance, man. I've been asked by a lot of people, like, Troy, why don't you talk about performance so much? Okay, I just gotta address this one. Well, answer me this, guys. Do the companies talk about performance? Do the companies that make these scents, do they ever talk about it? Do they ever say, like, on their literature, like, these are the ingredients, and by the way, it lasts the whole day, it's beast mode? No, I think that it is a fragcom related thing. When people are looking for performance, it's a fragcom related thing, and I think that it's also related to all these fragrances from all spectrums, right? No matter if it was like super synthetic with, extenders and stuff, like every fragrance is added into this conversation. And to me, I'm just like, no, like, first and foremost, guys, at the end of the day, this stuff is scented water. This thing will give me X amount, a lot of sprays, to be honest, especially those big ones in the back. Those are gonna be giving me so many sprays that I think the companies, depending on their pricing, really don't give a damn what you guys think about performance, because in their heads, they do not sell the decants, they sell the bottles. And it's like, yo, if you have 100 ml, dude, just spray enough, whatever you want, and you'll get the performance you want. You know what I'm saying? Whenever I talk about performance, I only look about the 3 sprays that I try. But realistically, if I wanted more of this, man, I could have just sprayed like 10 times. You see what I'm saying, guys? So I think it's a fragcom like thing, and it's hard for me to talk about it because people are always going to relate it to all other fragrances, which may not even be niche, which may be even like super synthetic, like a Dua, for example. I don't want to do that. That's why I rarely talk about it. But for bitter peach, because I know you guys are probably going to ask, to me this one is sort of like a not a skin scent, but it's sort of like a close quarters scent, okay? And rightfully so. Why? Because if Tom Ford increased the amount of the peach and the blood orange, trust me, guys, I would gag. Trust me, it would be too much. If they increased the level of this to beastly proportions, it would be bad. Okay, I would gag. I would be, why? Because it's just like, dude, too much peach, too much of this davana, too much of this, like, syrupy, warm amber, like to the bone, right? So to me, like, this is like a good proportion right now. I mean, it's summer, I'm wearing this right now. I mean, I think it's around me, I can smell it. It does feel warm and cozy. It does feel sensual in a way because it's that gradient style from light to dark, curving. The peach is nicely blended. I mean, to me, it's okay like this. I mean, if I wanted more, like I said, I'm just gonna spray a little bit more. But if it was a beastly peach, I think it would make me gag. I think it would make somebody around me gag, because it's like, at this point, the total combination is kind of thick and rich that you shouldn't be beast moding this part. Maybe the peach part, but not the later parts. And I know that some people expect that the whole scent goes beast mode for like 9 hours. That's ridiculous, but to me, this is perfect for a stroll down Central Park in the fall, or anywhere, any fall place. It would be really, really nice. Spring also, but I think fall. When I think about this, I don't think about the spring. I don't think about the nice greenish background. I'm thinking about fall, in Manhattan. That's what I'm thinking. It's really quite nice, and it won't. I mean, if you're a guy wearing this, I don't think they're gonna think you're, oh, dude, you're wearing a women's perfume. Because the curve, like I said, I mean, it happens within seconds. Okay, so that's it. That's my review of Bitter Peach. Oh man, thank you to the generous donation from some of our friends, and don't worry, I'm working on the Frag Cartel, guys. Don't worry, I'm working on that. And again, thank you for everybody. All our allies and friends are sending this to me. I get private messages from a bunch of people that really matter to me. Like, I don't care if they say it in public, but they do say, man, I've been watching you. I've been watching YouTubers for a long time, and this is one of the most prolific channels that I've ever seen, which is basically on point, and it tells us exactly what we're looking for and explains it well. So I'm very thankful to you guys for, man, all those comments and all those people telling me in private. That makes me continue this no matter what. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Bitter Peach, Tom Ford. Hopefully this guys will give you really great information. I know there are other reviewers doing it as well, so cross check with them and see how they think it is. But this is basically what I think of this one. No hype. Okay, I mean, the fact that I didn't pay for it, that would stop the hype right there. If I paid for it, especially if I paid a lot of money for it, dude, I'd be hyped. I would probably say, oh, dude, this is the next coming, but it's not. This was graciously donated to us, so I'm really, really happy this was donated, because that would give me this no hype sensation when I'm doing these things. So that's really helpful. Okay, all right, so that's it. Tom Ford Bitter Peach. Thank you, guys. Please like this video and subscribe, guys. The more you like, I like it. So please like and subscribe, and comment below if you'd like. I'll see you this coming week. God bless. Enjoy your weekend.